one of these honey cakes which are brought for me from some barbarous land in the far south of the world.
And as he's talking, he's like, oh, no, go ahead, eat another thing. No, eat this, come on. So that's why it has to be saying things. This reminds me of a song by Creedence Clearwater Revival. It says, I want to know, have you ever seen the rain coming down on a sunny day? Pause for a second.
I love it.
Now the Queen's Majesty knows by her art that I shall be freed from this enchantment when once she has made me king of a land in the overworld and set its crown upon my head. The land is already chosen and the very place of our breaking out. Her earthmen have worked day and night digging away beneath it and have now gone so far and so high that they tunnel not a score of feet beneath the very grass on which the updwellers of that country walk. It will be very soon now that those uplanders' fate will come upon them. She herself is at the diggings tonight, and I expect a message to go to her. Then the thin roof of earth, which still keeps me from my kingdom, will be broken through. And with her to guide me and 1,000 earthmen at my back, I shall ride forth in arms, fall suddenly on our enemies, slay their chief men, cast down their strong places, and doubtless be their crowned king within 24 hours.
So what he's saying there is the Earthmen, all of the gnomes and stuff over there, have been digging and working just endlessly. They're digging under the ground, under the kingdom that he's going to take over, and they're digging under it, and they're getting really close to the surface, so they're just a few feet away, basically. And once they're
Bit rough luck on them, isn't it? Said Scrub. The harder lad of a wondrous quick-working wit, exclaimed the knight. For on my honor, I never thought of it so before.
So Scrub basically is like, kind of sucks for the overworlders. Kind of sucks for them. Like, you're about to go over and destroy their kingdom. So that kind of sucks for them. And then the knight's like, ha, you're pretty sharp. He's like, I actually had never thought of that.
Be your meaning.
Let me go back.
Back, I shall ride forth in arms, fall suddenly on our enemies, slay their chief men, cast down their strong places, and doubtless be their crowned king within 24 hours. It's a bit rough luck on them, isn't it? Said Scrub. The harder lad of a wondrous quick-working wit, exclaimed the knight. For on my honor, I never thought of it so before. I see your meaning. He looked slightly, very slightly troubled for a moment or two. But his face soon cleared, and he broke out with another of his loud laughs. But, fie on gravity! Is it not the most comical and ridiculous thing in the world to think of them all going about their business, and never dreaming that under their peaceful fields and floors, only a fathom down, there is a great army ready to break out upon them like a fountain, and they never to have suspected. Why, they themselves, when once the first smart of their defeat is over, can hardly choose but laugh at the thought. I don't think it's funny at all, said Jill. I think he'll be a wicked tyrant.
So basically he starts laughing. He's like, it's kind of funny. People just up there doing their regular business, they have no clue that I'm waiting with an army ready to burst out like a fountain and just take over. He's like, it's kind of funny. Jill's like, I don't think it's funny at all. I think he'll be a horrible king and a tyrant.
What? Said the knight, still laughing and patting her head in a quite infuriating fashion. Is our little maid a deep politician? But never fear, sweetheart. In ruling that land, I shall do all by the counsel of my lady, who will then be my queen, too. Her word shall be my law, even as my word will be law to the people we have conquered. Where I come from, said Jill, who was disliking him more every minute, they don't think much of men who are bossed about by their wives. Shalt think otherwise when thou hast a man of thine own, I warrant you, said the knight, apparently thinking this very funny.
So basically she's saying, like, where I come from, the UK, because basically the knight was saying, hey, whatever I say will go. My words will be the law for the people that I rule over. But he said before that, the lady, the queen, whatever she says is what he will do. So basically she'll be kind of like the top, and then he'll be underneath. So instead of king, he's saying, I'm the king, and what I say goes. It's the queen saying, I'm the queen, whatever I say goes, and the king will do whatever I say, and then the king tells the people underneath that you'll do whatever I say. Basically it'll be whatever the queen is saying. And so she's like, where I come from, it's, most people don't like wives that are controlling their husbands. And he just kind of laughs. He's like, you'll think differently when you get yourself a man. When you get yourself a husband, you'll have a change of thought.
But with my lady it is another matter. I am well content to live by her word, who has already saved me from 1,000 dangers. No mother has taken pains more tenderly for her child than the Queen's grace has for me. I look you. amid all her cares and business, she rideth out with me in the overworld many a time and oft to accustom my eyes to the sunlight. And then I must go fully armed and with my visor down, so that no man may see my face, and I must speak to no one. For she has found out by art magical that this would hinder my deliverance from the grievous enchantment I lie under. Is not that a lady worthy of a man's whole worship? Sounds a very nice lady indeed, said Puddleglum in a voice which meant exactly the opposite.
Puddleglum's basically being sarcastic, because basically she was saying, or he was saying, you know, they go and ride. Does this make sense? Is it making sense, or is it? So when they're riding around
on a horse,
on horses, he has to keep his visor down and he can't talk to anybody, because if he did, it would hinder his deliverance from the madness. It would make it worse, in other words. So, and he has to get his eyes accustomed to the light of the overworld because it's so dark. But he can't talk to anybody or show his face, because that's going to make his condition every night worse, is what the lady has said to him.
They were thoroughly tired of the night's talk before they had finished supper. Puddleglum was thinking, wonder what game that witch is really playing with this young fool. Scrub was thinking, he's a great baby, really, tied to that woman's apron strings. He's a sap. And Jill was thinking, he's the silliest, most conceited, selfish pig I've met for a long time. But when the meal was over, the knight's mood had changed. There was no more laughter about it. Friends, he said, my hour is now very near. I'm ashamed that you should see me, yet I dread being left alone. They will come in presently and bind me hand and foot to yonder chair. Alas, so it must be.
So yonder chair means the chair that is thumb over there, yonder. So it's like they're going to come in. He says, friends, my hour is near, meaning the hour every evening, or every night when he goes through his madness is about to come. He's like, I don't really want you guys to see it, because it's, you know, I'm going crazy, but also I don't really want to be alone. So just a heads up, this is what's about to happen. They're going to come in, they're going to tie me to that chair over there. So that's what he's explaining, yonder, chair.
For in my fury they tell me I would destroy all that I could reach. I say, said Scrub, I'm awfully sorry about your enchantment, of course, but what will those fellows do to us when they come to bind you? They talked of putting us in prison, and we don't like all those dark places very much. We'd much rather stay here till you're better, if we may. It is well thought of, said the knight. By custom, none but the queen herself remains with me in my evil hour. Such is her tender care for my honor, that she would not willingly suffer any ears but her own to hear the words I utter in that frenzy. But I could not easily persuade my attendant gnomes that you should be left with me, and I think I hear their soft feet even now upon the stairs. Go through yonder door. It leads into my other apartments, and there either await my coming when they have unbound me, or, if you will, return and sit with me in my ravings. They followed his directions.
So, wait, does that make sense? Kind of he's saying the gnomes are going to come and tie me up, and then Eustace and all of them are like, well, wait a minute, what are they going to do to us? Because they might put us in prison. That's what they wanted to do. And so the knight's like, yeah, that makes sense. Well, go into my other room, yonder room. Wait there while they come in and tie me. I think I hear them coming. wait there and either wait for me for after I'm finished, and then I'll come and talk with y'all, or you can come back after they've gone. And he was saying before that, he goes, usually the only person that stays in the room with him while he's going crazy, and his frenzy, his ravings, is just the queen, the lady of the green kirtle. She's the only one that stays there, and hears all the crazy stuff he says. And so he's kind of like, she's the only one that does it, not the gnomes, everything. That's why I kind of feel awkward about having all of y'all. But the lady's not there this night because she's at the digging site or whatever. So, okay.
And passed out of the room by a door which they had not yet seen opened. It brought them, they were pleased to see, not into darkness, but into a lighted corridor. They tried various doors and found what they very badly needed: water for washing and even a looking glass. He never offered us a wash before supper, said Jill, drying her face. Selfish, self-centered pig. Are we going back to watch the enchantment, or shall we stay here? Said Scrub. Stay here, I vote, said Jill. I'd much rather not see it. But she felt a little inquisitive all the same.
Inquisitive means kind of curious, like you want to figure out what's going on. So she's like, I don't want to go see it, but I'm a little bit curious. I want to see what's going on. So they went out the door that they hadn't seen before. They go, oh, the door right over there. Okay, go out through that door. And there's a corridor, which is a hallway with a bunch of doors off the side to it. And one of the doors, I guess, led to like a bathroom, essentially. They found some water and they found some on the mirror. You're paying attention.
Yes.
Or are you more focused on that?
Together?
Can I let you finish that?
After this chapter.
Whole chapter?
Yes. It's almost finished.
There's 12 more minutes. I feel like you're not going to pay attention. Alright, I'm going to quiz you at the end.
Okay.
No, go back, said Puddleglum. We may pick up some information, and we need all we can get. I'm sure that queen is a witch, and an enemy. And those Earthmen would knock us on the head as soon as look at us. There's a stronger smell of danger and lies and magic and treason about this land than I've ever smelled before. We need to keep our eyes and ears open. They went back down the corridor and gently pushed the door open. It's all right, said Scrub, meaning that there were no Earthmen about. Then they all came back into the room where they had supped. The main door was now shut, concealing the curtain between which they had first entered. The knight was seated in a curious silver chair, to which he was bound by his ankles, his knees, his elbows, his wrists, and his waist. There was sweat on his forehead, and his face was filled with anguish. Come in, friends, he said, glancing quickly up. The fit is not yet upon me. Make no noise, for I told that prying chamberlain that you were in bed. Now, I can feel it coming. Quick, listen, while I am master of myself. When the fit is upon me, well, may be that I shall beg and implore you with entreaties and threatenings to loosen my bonds. They say I do. I shall call upon you by all that is most dear and most dreadful, but do not listen to me. Harden your hearts and stop your ears, for while I am bound, you are safe. But if once I were up out of this chair, and first would come my fury, and after that, he shuddered, the change into a loathsome serpent. Oh, there's no fear of our loose in you, said Puddleglum. We've no wish to meet wild men. Or serpents either.
So he's basically saying, like, hey, from what they tell me, when I'm in my crazy state of mind, I'll be asking you, please, push the buttons, please. And so he's like, don't listen to me. Plug your ears. Don't do it, because if I get loose, I'll kill you with a sword or whatever, or I will turn into a serpent and then kill you. So he's like, don't do it. And Puddleglum's like, don't worry, we're not going to lose you. We don't have any interest in wild men, crazy men, or serpents.
I should think not, said Scrub and Jill together.
But he's almost like,
The same,
that's why he's
added Puddleglum in a whisper. Don't let's be too sure. Let's be on our guard. We've mugged everything else, you know. He'll be cunning, I shouldn't wonder, once he gets started. Can we trust one another? Do we all promise that whatever he says, we don't touch those cords? Whatever he says, mind you. Rather, said Scrub. There's nothing in the world he can say or do that'll make me change my mind, said Jill. Hush. Something's happening, said Puddleglum. Then
So basically, Puddleglum's like, look, it might seem easy right now, like, oh yeah, of course we won't do it, but he might be very, very cunning. He might be, not, cunning's different than seducing. He might have, like, very convincing, persuasive ways of trying to make what he wants them to do. And so Puddleglum's like, look, we gotta be on our guard. Everybody, we're in agreement. We will not lose this man's bonds.
Knight was moaning. His face was as pale as putty, and he writhed in his bonds. And whether because she was sorry for him, or for some other reason, Jill thought that he looked a nicer sort of man than he had looked before. Ah, he groaned. Enchantments. The heavy, tangled, cold, clammy web of evil magic, buried alive, dragged down under the earth, down into the sooty blackness. How many years is it? Have I lived? 10 years? Or 1,000 years in the pit? Maggot men all around me. Oh, have mercy, let me up, let me go back. Let me feel the wind and see the sky. There used to be a little pool. When you looked down into it, you could see all the trees growing upside down in the water, all green. And below them, deep, very deep, the blue sky. He'd been speaking in a low voice. Now he looked up, fixed his eyes upon them, and said loud and clear, "Quick, I'm sane now. Every night I am sane. If only I could get out of this enchanted chair, it would last. I should be a man again. But every night they bind me. So every night my chance is gone. But you are not enemies. I'm not your prisoner. Quick, cut these cords." "Stand fast, steady," said
So now he's saying, he's like, look, I'm sane now, meaning I'm not insane. I'm not crazy. Every night, right at this point, I go back to being not crazy. That's what they bind me so that I stay crazy. So see how cunning the thing, and he's like, please, if you just cut these bonds, then I won't stay crazy. I'll stay sane. I'll go back to being crazy. So see the mind game? The Puddleglum's like, stand fast, or steady, stand, like, don't move, don't listen to him. I warned you, is kind of what he's saying.
Puddleglum to the two children. "I beseech you to hear me," said the knight, forcing himself to speak calmly. "Have they told you that if I am released from this chair, I shall kill you and become a serpent? I see by your faces that they have. It is a lie. It is at this hour that I am in my right mind. It is all the rest of the day that I am enchanted. You are not earthmen, nor witches. Why should you be on their side? Of your courtesy, cut my bonds. Steady, 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 said the three travelers to one another. Oh, you have hearts of stone, said the knight. Believe me, you look upon a wretch who has suffered almost more than any mortal heart can bear. What wrong have I ever done you that you should side with my enemies to keep me in such miseries? And the minutes are slipping past. Now you can save me. When this hour has passed, I shall be witless again, the toy and lapdog, nay, more likely the pawn and tool of the most devilish sorceress that ever planned the woe of men.
That was a bunch of big words. But basically he's saying, after this hour is finished, then I'll go back to being witless, meaning like mindless. He's basically saying, like, right now, my mind is clear, and then I'm going to be under a mind control afterwards. It's like I'm under a mind spell all of the rest of the time. It's only at this hour of the night when I'm not under that spell anymore. And it's this chair that's keeping me stuck in this, spell, basically. And so, yeah, that's basically what he's saying. So again, it's like, wait a minute. And he's even saying, the way he's saying it, his words is like, they've told you. Like they. It's
Yes.
like, no, you told us. So what do you mean they've told you?
This night, of all nights when she is away, you take from me a chance that may never come again. This is dreadful. I do wish we'd stayed away till it was over, said Jill. Steady, said Puddleglum. The prisoner's voice was now rising into a shriek. Let me go, I say. Give me my sword, my sword! Once I am free, I shall take such revenge on Earthmen that Underland will talk of it for 1,000 years. Now the frenzy is beginning, said Scrub. I hope those knots are all right. Yes, said Puddleglum. He'd have twice his natural strength if he got free now. And I'm not clever with my sword. He'd get us both, I shouldn't wonder. And then Pole on her own would be left to tackle the snake. The prisoner was now so straining at his bonds that they cut into his wrists and ankles. Beware, he said, beware. One night I did break them, but the witch was there that time. You will not have her to help you tonight. Free me now, and I am your friend. I'm your mortal enemy else.
Basically, he says mortal enemy is like I'm an enemy until your death, basically. It's like if you free me now, we're friends. But if you don't, then you're my enemy. Like I'll kill you too, is kind of the idea. Like you're my mortal enemy. For as long as I'm alive, you'll be my enemy. And that's why he's saying, give me my sword. I want to take revenge on all the Earthmen and kill thousands of them.
Henny, said Puddleglum.
Cunning is
Once and for all, said the prisoner, I adjure you to set me free by all fears and all loves, by the bright skies of Overland, by the great lion, by Aslan himself, I charge you. Oh! Cried the three travelers as though they had been hurt. It's the sign, said Puddleglum. It was the words of the sign, said Scrub more cautiously. Oh, what are we to do? Said Jill. It was a dreadful question. What had been the use of promising one another that they would not on any account set the knight free, if they were now to do so the first time he happened to call upon a name they really cared about? On the other hand, what had been the use of learning the signs if they weren't going to obey them? Yet could Aslan have really meant them to unbind anyone, even a lunatic, who asked it in his name? Could it be a mere accident? Or how if the Queen of the Underworld knew all about the signs and had made the knight learn this name simply in order to entrap them? But then supposing this was the real sign? They had muffed 3 already. They daren't muff the 4th. Oh, if only we knew, said Jill. I think we do know, said Puddleglum. Do you mean you think everything will come right if we do untie him? Said Scrub. I don't know about that, said Puddleglum. See, Aslan didn't tell Pole what would happen. He only told her what to do. That fellow will be the death of us once he's up, I shouldn't wonder. But that doesn't let us off following the sign. They all stood looking at one another with bright eyes.
So basically, Puddleglum is like, look, we don't know what's going to happen, but this is the sign. We have to do it, and he's probably going to kill us. But we still have to do it. That's what he's basically saying.
It was a sickening moment. All right, said Jill suddenly. Let's get it over. Goodbye, everyone. They all shook hands. The knight was screaming by now. There was foam on his cheeks. Come on, Scrub, said Puddleglum. He and Scrub drew their swords and went over to the captive. In the name of Aslan, they said, and began methodically cutting the cords. The instant the prisoner was free, he crossed the room in a single bound, seized his sword, which had been taken from him and laid on the table, and drew it. You first, he cried, and fell upon the silver chair. That must have been a good sword. The silver gave way before its edge like string.
As it fell upon the chair, it's not like he fell. It means he started hacking the silver chair. And his sword was very strong because it was just cutting the silver chair into pieces, just strings.
In a moment, a few twisted fragments shining on the floor were all that was left. But as the chair broke, there came from it a bright flash, a sound like small thunder, and for one moment, a loathsome smell. Lie there, vile engine of sorcery, he said, lest your mistress should ever use you for another victim. Then he turned and surveyed his rescuers, and the something wrong, whatever it was, had vanished from his face.
So he turns and he looks and surveys, like he's checking them out, looking at the 3 of them. And it says, just there, it said, the something that looked wrong about him, that Jill had said something's a little bit off, that's now gone.
What? He cried, turning to Puddleglum. Do I see before me a marshwiggle? A real, live, honest Narnian marshwiggle? Oh, so you have heard of Narnia after all, said Jill. Had I forgotten it when I was under the spell? Asked the knight. Well, that and all other bedevilments are now over. You may well believe that I know Narnia, for I am Rilian, Prince of Narnia, and Caspian the Great King is my father. Your Royal Highness, said Puddleglum, sinking on one knee, and the children did the same. We have come hither for no other end than to seek you. And who are you, my other deliverers? Said the prince to Scrub and Jill. We were sent by Aslan himself from beyond the world's end to seek your highness, said Scrub. I am Eustace, who sailed with him to the island of Ramandu. I owe all three of you a greater debt than I can ever pay, said Prince Rillian. But my father, is he yet alive? He sailed east again before we left Narnia, my lord, said Puddleglum. But your highness must consider that the king is very old. It is 10 to 1 his majesty must die on the voyage. He is old, you say? How long then have I been in the power of the witch? Well, it is more than 10 years since your highness was lost in the woods at the north side of Narnia. 10 years, said the prince, drawing his hand across his face as if to rub away the past. Yes, I believe you. For now that I am myself, I can remember that enchanted life. But while I was enchanted, I could not remember my true self. And now, fair friends... But wait, I hear their feet. Does it not sicken a man, that padding, woolly tread on the stairs? Lock the door, boy. Oh, stay. I have a better thought than that. I will fool these earthmen if Aslan gives me the wit. Take your cue from me. He walked resolutely to the door and flung it wide open.